What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? 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 Hello, I'm Merlin Malilly. Welcome to The Love Show, where we grapple with the question, what is love? Today's Love Show asks if there is a war on love. Is there a war on love? Has there always been a war on love? They are kind of opposite one another. I've been having the weirdest dreams for months and months. In my dreams, I've been fighting this strange war. I arm myself with instruments, musical instruments. Mostly strings, though, because they're slingable. Can't really. Well, you could drop a piano on someone. I guess that's for war with music. They are kind of heavy. They do it in the cartoons. They're used to. I don't know if they can still do that. So I go to this store that's packed with all these musical instruments. And I pick my instruments from all these cool instruments. And I go and I play with all my heart with all these other musicians that are playing with all their heart. And I wake up exhausted. This has been going on for months, so I'm really tired. The coffee is hardly even working anymore. But I wake up with this beautiful arrangement of the most beautiful music you've ever heard in my head. Just like nothing you've ever even heard with your human ears. I mean, this is something that's, I guess, more ephemeral. It's heard with the soul. I mean, this from my dream state. So I'm fighting with music. I feel these dreams were telling me that there was, in fact, a war on love. Maybe I was fighting the war on love with the Love Show and with my music and with whatever I was playing in my dreams with other musicians. Why else would you be able to defend it with music if it wasn't a war on love? We decided in our show is music love that music was in fact love. When I first looked up, is there a war on love? I found Ronan Farrow's book, War on Peace. Is love peace? Another love show. Is there a war on love if there is a war on peace? So Ronan Farrow is one of the first reporters to become a whistleblower in the Harvey Weinstein scandal. His book is actually entitled The War on Peace, The End of Diplomacy and the Decline of American Influence. Is diplomacy peace? Is diplomacy love? Yet another love show. Do we need to bring love to the diplomatic table to have peace? And I'm not talking about sex. We have established in other love shows that in general, and for love show purposes, love is not sex. We know they have brought sex to the table. But I personally think they need to take it back. There is a fly in the soup. This soup's no good. Send it back. If the United States was a restaurant, I would be calling the health department. Maybe we should all call the health department. Tell them how unhealthy our State Department is. So I also found an article by Janine DiGiovanni entitled Love and War, which seems to say, despite a war on love, that she found love in war. Her and her husband met while covering wars. They were war correspondents. It seemed from the article that they both still are. It seems to me that once you really know war, you sort of need love to heal from it. There is no winning in war, but there's definitely no winning if there's no love. Even in a war on love, without love, you couldn't even have a war on love. Melanie Hoffman from HuffPost says the only way to peace is love. So is that why there is a war on love? Because it's the way to peace? So for those of you that don't know, I used to run free kitchens. And while running free kitchens, I had cops and rich kids rob my donation can. I think they wanted me to think it was the poor people. The poor people were eating with me and looking me in the eye and hugging me and bringing me food donations that they bought with their food stamps. And why would they rob my donation can? I just didn't think that it was them, any of the needy I was helping. They weren't, I just didn't feel like they were the ones robbing me. People see you out on the streets these days loving people by feeding them, and it just gets some people's panties in a bunch. Some people feel that if you feed people for free, then the people charging money for food nearby are losing money. So someone didn't spend $20 to $50 they couldn't afford on food in your restaurant. And if they had, against all odds, been allowed to come into your restaurant, would they have had to go without toilet paper or soap or shoes as a result? What did the restaurant owner lose? Nothing. Because that person, the people that I fed, would have only been able to eat at an expensive restaurant from the dumpster. And nowadays, they probably wouldn't have even been able to do that. Most of them are not welcome because they wouldn't even be able to afford the dress code, never mind the bill. So you can't love desperate, hungry people by feeding them. Oh, no, no, no. You might have in some distant universe stepped on someone's Jimmy Choos, which are toe exposings. That could hurt. So, therefore, they're going to have to call the police and have you removed for loving people. Because we can't have any of that stuff going on. I had people calling police on me all the time for feeding the hungry for free. Apparently now it's a crime. They are actually arresting people for feeding the hungry. It is illegal to love, I guess. And that, my friends, is a war on love. They steal from my donation can, basically freeze all of my assets. Facebook and their social experiment nearly destroy all of the loving people in the world. You know, they have people come into your life and gaslight you and suicide you and stalk you. We've tried it all. And you know, I don't run free kitchens anymore. But yet I haven't sold a painting in years. I have 6 albums out. I haven't sold one. I can't help but think that this is freezing my assets. We don't want you to have any money, lady, because we don't want you going out and loving anybody. You know, we don't want that. That would be bad. If you shared, fed some hungry people. All this is evidence of the absence of love. The president cheating on his wife with hookers. No love. There's no love there. Babies in cages. There's no love there either. All this public show of examples of how not to love. How not to love yourself, how not to love your coworkers, how not to love your spouse, how not to love. All wonderful examples of how not to love. Where are our examples of how to love? I'm here. I love. I think in all of this we've lost touch with how to love. Strangely, I wasn't really given much love by my mother. But my grandmother really loved me. Thank God. If it wasn't for my grandmother, I don't think I would really know what love is. And I still question. I think we have lost touch as a species with what love is. And that's why I'm here. To remind you. We've lost touch with our only weapon against war. It might appear to the rest of the world that Americans love war, but we don't. Corporate America loves war. But most Americans, the other 99% of America, doesn't love war. We don't like to get our babies sent home in boxes. No one likes that. And the people that join the military, they join because they need to make a living. And then they become entangled in this messy business of war. Businessmen, you make a lot of money. You make a lot of money with war. But you can also lose it. As you now know. But have you considered that you could also save a lot of money by not spending so much on war? Isn't it cheaper to sit down at a diplomatic table and have a loving conversation on behalf of your people with another human being about saving lives instead of destroying them? Isn't that cheaper? There's karma to pay in both love and war. I also found an article in Psychology Today written by Paul Dobransky, MD, entitled, "Are Women Dying in the Love on War?" Or the War on Love, excuse me. In the Love on War. I like that. We have a love on war. Another love show. Anyway, the article was entitled, "Are Women Dying in the War on Love?" It was from 2008. Mr. Dobransky thinks there is a war on love. I was surprised to find that this article was 10 years old. Nonetheless, his statistics were from 2008, and he said from 1999 to 2005, the suicide rate in women rose by 57%. And I looked it up from 2000 to 2016, there was still an increase in female suicides. So that trend continued. And apparently, according to Dobransky, being a mom protects women from suicide, or it used to. He says about women in divorce that, quote, "Women are more likely to retain responsibility for the care of young children, a factor that seems protective against suicide." So, love is protective against suicide. It's powerful magic, just like Dumbledore said. And another love show. But nonetheless, the suicide rates in women are up, and the birth rates are down. So our protective motherly love thing as our guard, as our power against war, against suicide, war on ourselves, against all kinds of war, our power is diminishing because birth rates are actually at a 30-year low. So less and less women are having children, and that's their protection against suicide. That love for their children protects them. It's kind of cool. But it's not cool that we're losing it. We're losing touch with that love. So I actually had trouble with this episode. It's ironic that I'm birthing so many different episodes out of this. I had so many different ideas in the process of writing this, but I was actually stuck for a hot minute. I was going to do the show on the Sea of Love, but I found almost nothing in my research except a nice Robert Plant song, The Honey Drippers. Remember them? And then I researched 2 more ideas to find nothing. And then, bam, it hit me that along with the question, what is love? People were also asking, is there a war on love? I was asking, and I feel our environment proves that yes, there is a war on love. But thank God there is love. And love conquers all. Yet another love show. There is still a lot of love in the world. in our show Necessity, we found that babies would die without love. So we need love. So everyone living was given love. And they are proof of love. Because they are living. In our show Is God Love, we found that God is love. In our show Is Music Love, we found, yes, music is love. We need yet another love show that asks, is art love? But if we are made of love, and God is love, and music is love, then I would say, yes, there is a war on love. But love conquers all. Love is God. Love is music. We are all made of love. So war kind of has the cards stacked against it. Love is so much more huge. Maybe it's time for war to just put down its weapon and hold up its little white flag and surrender to love. Everyone needs love, even people who fought wars. Sometimes especially them. I think the solution is to bring love to the table. War. Love isn't scary. Love isn't trying to hurt you, war. Love doesn't seek revenge. Love seeks resolution. Love seeks peace. Seek peace, war. Seek love. You won't regret it. It's so much better to love than to hate. How do you fight war? With love. What is love? It is peace. There is a war on love, friends, because love is peace. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Do, 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 do. What is love? Do, do, do. What is love? Thanks for watching. Get out there and love. I love you.